Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. So today we'll be basically talking about Streamlit. Ever wanted to build a web app using just Python, right? So no HTML, no CSS or JavaScript. So just a simple web application using Python. So that's exactly what Streamlit lets you do. In this video, I'll show you how to use Streamlit to build interactive apps, visualize data, add user inputs, and even deploy it online all in one go. So yeah, this is the Streamlit crash course. Streamlit is an open source Python framework that lets you turn your data scripts or machine learning models into shareable web apps easily. It's perfect for data scientists, machine learning engineers, or anyone who wants to showcase projects visually. So it's very straightforward using Streamlit. So key points to note here. No need for front-end frameworks, right? We don't need HTML, we don't need CSS. So you can run it locally or you can deploy it to Streamlit Cloud directly. Works with libraries like Pandas, Matplotlib, Plotly, scikit-learn, etc. We'll be using our PyCharm to write this code. Remember, it's just Python. So we'll be using PyCharm community version. Okay, so I can see I already have some files. So I'll just create a new PyCharm project. Right. So come to the file, new project. So I don't want a Git repository, but since I want to deploy it online, if you want to deploy it online, you can basically create a Git repository, and that's if you've already linked your GitHub account to your PyCharm. But for now, I'll just leave that. So Verve project, right? So Python 3, create as simple as that. So I'll say new window, right? So I can just leave that one behind, right? Okay, so now I have a new PyCharm project, right? So inside this folder here, I can just create a simple Python directory. The directory is basically a folder. So I'll say Streamlit. I don't want to put out my files directly into this folder because of the variant folder that's going to come. So we don't have any issues with that. So instead of Streamlit now, I'll create a new Python file and I'll call it intro.py. Right? So I have my new simple Python file. Note it's still the same Python, this is just PyCharm. So to test this, I can just say hello world, right? Print. So we can see Python is working, right? So good. So you might need to download Streamlit if your Python version doesn't already come with one. So I can just come all the way down to the terminal here, and we can use the keyboard shortcut Alt F12. So I can just click the terminal. So if you don't have PyCharm or if you don't have Streamlit, you can just pip install Streamlit, right? So it's basically the Streamlit, right? So it's basically like any other module, any other package you'll be installing with pip, right? But since I already have mine, I won't be running this. So after installing, you leave your terminal on because we'll be using our terminal to run our application. More of like running a node app, right? npm run or React app, npm run, npm start, stuff like that. Okay. So after installing Streamlit, we import it first things first. Since we're using Streamlit, we're going to have to import it, right? So import Streamlit. But I don't just want to import it as a whole. I want an alias, right? Something that will represent Streamlit, but I'll be calling it in a shorter version. So I don't want to have to type Streamlit every single time, right? I'll say import Streamlit as st. So I have my IDE loading up here. Okay, so I can just run that to check if it's still working. So I don't have any errors, which means I've imported it successfully, right? So now let's look at a basic method of Streamlit. First of all, what is Streamlit? So we can check the type. I can just say type of st instead of Streamlit as a whole, right? Since st is basically representing Streamlit. If I run that, I should see. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm not on Jupyter. So print that type. So I should see what class module. So our Streamlit is a module. Okay, and a module basically consists of functions inside. So the module, any class is basically any class is basically a module. Alright, so it has its own functions inside. So I can see Streamlit that writes hello world. So now we need to come into the directory Streamlit. Alright, so to move there, I can just say change directory Streamlit. So scan. So just say Streamlit run intro.py. So unlike Node, you're going to have to actually specify the py extension. So it should take me straight to my default web browser. So I have host antivirus there doing something. A system like me should directly take it to your web browser. Alright. So I have this. So I can see a simple hello world. You can see it has its own default pattern, margin and everything, but these are deploying and everything, which we'll talk about soon. Alright. So we run, click caching, print settings. So I like to think of it as something like Bootstrap Tailwind, because they have their own default stylings. It's not more of it's not really focused on I would say it's not really focused on the styling aspect, just a way of getting content on the web browser or web app as quickly as possible using Python. Okay. So a simple write statement there. So have us still working. So we have our title. The title is more of like an H1, H2 vibe, right? I can say my first app. Right, so I can just come back there and rerun or type capital letter R here. So I can just say always rerun, right? So I can see my first app, hello world. You can see how neat it looks, has a particular font, color white. You can have the background color white, then text like ultramarine, blue, deep blue, something like that. So you can see a default styling needs looking app, right? So these are Streamlit. So basically we'll be looking at some functions or multiple functions, basic functions I should say, that will basically help you visualize data, structure data well, import frameworks, other frameworks, and let's use them all together. So yeah, let's start with showing some media forms. So basically show images, videos, and yeah, let's say code too. Okay, so I can say st.image. So I want to show an image. So obviously I need to have this image in this path directly, right? And I'll need a caption too. So let me get an image first. So just come up, download Streamlit logo. Let's get the Streamlit logo, right? The PNG. So see this. Let's get this one. Okay, I want something. PNG save was okay. So I'll just say S logo straight out of that. So I can just save, right? Download, save. So I can drag and drop onto my Explorer here. S logo. See if I can drop it directly. No, I can't. Okay, so I'm going to have to go to PyCharm projects. Then project 1. So PyCharm is not allowing me to drop my projects, right? So just basically go to where your project is located. So I can just check mine here. You can see it's located in my user, PyCharm projects, then Python project 1. So I'll just come to my user here. Okay, let me just copy the image first. Go to X, let me cut it. So come to my user, more. So for PyCharm projects, Python project 1, Streamlit, and to paste, right? So this is File Explorer, so that's all good. Come back to Python, I can see my PNGs here. So now I'll just say S logo the PNG. Of course, we could have used an online image, but let's just do it the local way. So S logo. I can add a okay. Then I can add a caption, right? Just a caption for the image. If you remember from HTML, I can say Streamlit logo, right? Streamlit logo. So always rerun. I should rerun. I'm back. Loading good. So I can have my image. So I can have the caption here, Streamlit logo. Yeah. So I can see I have this full screen stuff. This is full screen. All right. So yep, that's our image. We just comment that out. And for the video, I guess we'll use an online video. So without the stress of downloading. So st.video. Most of these functions are quite straightforward. So yeah, okay. So yeah, we basically don't need to cram or memorize the arguments to pass these functions. You can just check the documentation online, right? You can basically just go to Google and search for arguments for the video function in Streamlit, or just say control space. Control space basically just tells you the argument, right? But we have a documentation online which will tell you what it does, how it works, and stuff like that. Right. So these P's are our argument or parameters, the parameters and what you pass are the arguments, right? So you have end time, autoplay, true or false, subtitles, which is going to be a 5 for the subtitles, start time, stuff like that. Right. So which would have been the same for our image. So I basically just want a link. So I'll just come up to my old videos here, pick one. These videos, you should see. Well, this is majorly another video. Thank you. So come back, paste. I'm sorry, I have to paste it as a string first. So we'll see. So come back to our stringly here, and we can see we have this YouTube video. All right. So our image is commented out. Click on the video, and it plays. All right, as easy as it comes. All right. So that's nice. Back to our Python, comment that out, and yeah, let's use the code function. So just so it has to be in a string too. Let me use double quote on the outside. So let me say print what single quotes hello world, right? Then brackets, comma, specify language, right? Language. Obviously I would say Python. Small letter. So let's try that. Does it work? Does it work? Print hello world, right? So obviously it's not going to run as our compiler. Yeah. So if I type it as Python S, which is not a programming language, I can see it won't have that code structure again. So it just looks like a plain text, but it has the code format, but it's not. It's just a plain text basically, right? So if I were to use something like, let's say JavaScript, which is obviously not print, it doesn't have a print function. So let's just say console.log, right? So I see it also has the code formats, right? So more basically can't run that. Okay. So yeah, nice medias we can use with Streamlit. Now let's look at other display functions that we can use with our Streamlit. Right. So simple functions that we can just use to display elements. I've already talked about title, right? This image video code are also display because basically show something. Well, going back to our original HTML roots markdown vibes, right? So we want to work with something like that. So let's talk about header, subheader, text, and markdown. Okay. So we've already done title, right? So we'll just say st.header. All right. So header should be like our title. Let's say demo app. All right. So it's as easy as that. Auto save. Come up, so you can see our demo app is giving. This is giving like an H1 vibe, like an H3 because it's not as close to this one. It's more like an H1, H3, right? And this one is looking like a paragraph tag. So we also have duplicate that. So Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So we can also say subheader, right? Subheader. You can see the suggestions there. So let's see introduction. I just do the introduction 5. Come back. introduction. So you can see very, very close, more of like H3 and then H4. All right. There's very little difference between those two. Okay. Now, apart from write, we also have plain text. So st.text, right? So st.text. Hope you're liking Streamlit. So basically what we're doing here is just basically looking at like different tags layouts. You wouldn't probably need to use all this, right? You can see that it's similar to the writes method or write function, sorry. So like in Streamlit hello world. It's just like talking about paragraph tag, bold tag, stuff like that. So we also have the markdown method. So markdown, right? So we can check the parameters or arguments to use. We can see body and help. Width, we can specify how wide it's going to be, but we'll only consider with the body. I note most of the time, I think maybe all of the time, right? The first argument or parameter you see is going to be the default one, and it's a positional argument. You don't have to put the keyword body, right? So I can just say empty string and it will work as the body, right? So if I say double asterisk, so markdown is a special way of annotating text, right? So I can basically write markdown in Notepad, save it as an MD file, and it will be structured. So we don't actually need to write HTML to show or annotate text, right? So we can also write it in Notepad without using tags too. Okay. So double asterisk at the end and at the start, basically going to show my text in bold. So I can just say bold text, right? Bold text. So I have a bold text and yeah, let's do italic. All right, so I'll say and for italic, just use one, right? So one, so say italic. So you know what italic looks like? Slanted a bit. Italic texts. Okay. And I just say using markdown. So everything is going to be in our double quotes, right? So double asterisk for bold, single for like italic. All right, just basic tags. So instead of writing less than b greater than b, tags and HTML and stuff. So just come back so I can see bold text, italic text, right? So we have that. They look a little bit small, but to really work. Bold and italic. Okay, italics. All right. Good. So now let's work with our first framework. Alright, let's work with our first framework, which is going to be pandas. So if you don't know pandas before, so pandas is basically it's mostly used in machine learning, data science thing, right? It's basically used to structure data, has a lot of methods, has a lot of functions, classes that help you, structure the data, work on it, analyze data, a lot of stuff, data frames and all, data frame series. So yeah, that's pandas. So I can just comment our rights. I can keep my header and the others. So I can leave st.text. So I'll open like a string it. Okay. So now pandas. So for the pandas, I can just copy this header since I'm working with a new section now. Let's say pandas. So I mentioned data frame. So a data frame is basically you can just look at it as a table, right? As a normal standard table. So instead of it's quite similar to using the table tag in HTML, right? So let's see how that works. So first of all, import pandas, right? Also a module. Import pandas as PD. Alright, let's import it as PD. Very, very common. So while that loads, we can basically create a panda data frame. So I can just say df equals PD. So we have PD the data frame, right? Data frame is a class that we use to create a data frame. But what is going to be in our table, which is what we're going to do here. So before this line runs, I'll say data, my data for the data frame, right? It's going to be an object. Let's say an object. Let's say, dictionary. This is not JavaScript, this is Python. So dictionary, names, I see names. So the column, just say the name, yeah. So column, say John, Mike, 11, Max, Lucas. So if you don't already know, referencing Stranger Things here. And who's the last one? Steve, all right? Steve, okay? So we have one column. And now we need another column for their ages, right? Let's do ages. We can just call it age, since it's just going to be like a title on top. So a page, right? So we need, sorry. So we need all of the ages, column, square brackets, all right? So let's say John would be 20. Mike, 14. 11 is 11. Let's just say 11 is 11. And let's say 13, 11. All right. Then 12, 11, and 26. Right. So we have a name column and we have an age column. All right. So this is our dictionary, a Python dictionary. So we can pass it as an object for our data frame. So this is a class basically. So we're instantiating a data frame object. So I can just say data, right? So this creates a table for us, easy peasy. So to show it with Streamlit, all I have to do is just what? Is just say data frame, right? Data frame what? df. df is our actual data frame. So I'm just showing it with what? Streamlit. Then I can also say st.table, create our table, df. Okay. So let's check two of them out. Come back. All arrays must be of the same length. We have an issue. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7. Just remove that. Now equal length, right? Equal length, equal table. Loading up. So good. So we can see this is a table made using the st.data frame. All right. So you also generate a table for us. You can see the default indexing. You can see this is one what? This is the key value per name and the values. John, Mike, 11, Max, Lucas, Steve, right? Then another column of the ages. So this is plain using the words. This is straight up using the table method or table function, sorry. So they're quite similar, but I think ST data frame looks neater, has a nice design. So it's just better, alright? It's just better. So you can even edit it. So it's quite straightforward, right? You just use the function and it already comes with defaults, default styling, default function, default methods. It's quite easy and straightforward. The only thing might be deploying with Streamlit might just remove the love of customization, right? So differentiating your own product from another person might be quite difficult, right? So you can see tables quite similar to that, but we'll stick with st.data frame. But remember, our actual data frame is basically like a table too, but it's not visual like that, right? It's not that visual if you've looked at it's not that visual if you've looked at our pandas data frame. Sorry, if you've looked at our pandas module, right? So another framework we're looking at now, let's look at Matplotlib, right? So Matplotlib is also another framework for data visualization. So normally Matplotlib basically shows data, right? We're talking about pie charts, we're talking about histograms, we're talking about bar charts, scatter plots, line plots, linear model, the regression plots, stuff like that. Basically, the whole visualization family. All right. So, Matplotlib. We also have things like Seaborn, Plotly. Matplotlib is quite straightforward, basic, as you see. So, Matplotlib, if you're familiar with it already, .pyplot. Matplotlib.pyplots, right? As PLT. I don't have it by default, right? So I'm just going to stop my server for now. Stop with Control C and install Matplotlib. So again, pip install Matplotlib, right? So just install that module. You can just skip that as it comes. Okay, so I have my Matplotlib now. So I can just run Streamlit again. This guy should refresh. Alright. So run Streamlit again. It should have that. So I want to import numpy to actually import numpy as np. So I want to use something we call linspace. So those of us familiar with numpy already, which is numerical Python, right? So I can just close this other one, and I should have the same thing, right? Table matplotlib, right? Okay. So linspace basically allows us to generate random numbers from a particular number to another one. So I can just say x equals np dot linspace, right? I should have numpy, good, I should have numpy. So you can also check the argument parameters and everything. So start, right? So the first one, the default is start. So I want to start from 1, and I want you to go to 1 to 10, and I want you to generate 20 random numbers from 1 to 10. So you can check the formula online here. You can say linspace formula. Alright, linspace formula. So okay, let's see. So stop minus start divided by n minus 1. So that's basically 10 minus 1, right? That's 9 divided by 20 minus 1, which is 19. So 9 divided by 19, right? So if I don't want an odd number like that, I'm just start from 0. So it should be 10 minus 0, which should be 10 divided by 20, which is going to be 0.5. So it makes it easier. 0.5, 0.1, or 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, so on and so forth. So it makes it smoother for the Python earlier, NumPy. So I can now say y, my y-axis, basically for the chart, should just be mp, the sign, x, right? Normal sign from math, right? So we have our x and y axis. So now let's show something. Okay, so you really don't need to worry about this part. I just want to say fig. So just something with Matplotlib. For those of us familiar with Matplotlib already, you can check out other videos on YouTube. So figure on our axis, alt the subplots, right? The subplots, sorry, subplots. Then I'll say x dot sub. Then I'll say x dot plot not x dot plot x comma y, right? So and I'll say st dot pyplot our figure. Right? St dot pyplot our figure. So I'm basically going to see our visualization now. Matplotlib loading up. You should always rerun. I should tend it to always rerun again. So now I can see our simple, not so simple actually, but I can see our visualization. So normally we'll be doing Matplotlib on Jupyter, but I'm doing it using Streamlit, right? So I can see from 0 to 10, and it should have an increase of 0.5 every time. Right? So this is the sign. Right? Remember, this is the sign of each of these values. So sign 0, we have 0, right? Sign 1 should be 0.25. Let's check that out too. Sign 1, right? Sign 1. Oh, sorry, we don't have. Okay, we have sign 1, 0.8, right? Sign 1 should be 0.8, which is probably something here. This is probably sign 1, right? Because this is from 0 to 0.5 to 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and so on and so forth, right? Yeah, let's move on. So that is our Matplotlib. So you can also upload files. Right? So that's a feature that you actually have to use JavaScript to do that. So just say st dot what subheader, right? So say file upload, right? file upload. So you can say uploaded file, store it in a variable, right? So this uploaded file should be st.file uploader, because file uploader is already going to automate the process of uploading our file. So we're storing that uploaded file in this variable. Sorry, in this. So we're storing our uploaded file in this variable uploaded file, right? So st.file uploader, and just say, so the text to show, right? Upload a CSV file, because we want to use the read CSV method. So I'll say upload a CSV file, then type, should specify the type, CSV. So this is the kind of file we're expecting from the user, not just any file. You can also upload an image and then show the image. I think that one should be smoother than CSV. So you can pause the video after this and try that yourself, right? So upload an image yourself, right? So upload an image yourself. So type CSV, right? So if uploaded file is okay, right? So we're going to basically working with code structures like this, right? Because by default it is null or none in Python, right? None. But if everything goes well, you uploaded everything well, the file uploader returns true, right? So if it is true, that means the file upload process worked, right? I see data frame because a CSV file can also be converted into a table, right? So we're going to be using our st.data frame again. But first of all, we use pandas to read a CSV file. Right? So say pandas pg, which we imported earlier, dot read CSV. We have different files that we can read. We're working with CSV. So read CSV of what's uploaded file. Uploaded underscore file, right? And I'll say st, remember st.data frame. We can use table too, but let's just use our st.data frame to show that particular table. Only if everything goes well. But if it doesn't go well, we can if it doesn't go well, we can easily just say st.write. Let's just say unsuccessful. Actually supposed to use a button here, but we'll look at that very, very soon. Alright, so unsuccessful. So let's just test that out. Let's put some always rerun. Okay. So file upload, we can see looking nice, right? We don't have to style this or drop this. So, but the limit is 200 megabyte per file. So we're gonna go too far, right? Now we can already see unsuccessful. Why? Because by default it is none, right? Because I've not uploaded anything, it is none. So I don't think that else statement makes sense. So when I upload, that's when it should go. All right. So default, bring out a file explorer. So CSV file. If you don't know what CSV file is, basically a comma separated value. All right. So comma separated values file. I think I should have some. You can go online, search for CSV file. Yeah. So I'll keep this in the YouTube, and the link in the description below. So yeah, I see nice animations for uploaded the file, right? So I should see the table coming up. So I uploaded the file, nice. Wait a minute. Okay, took its time, but it's generated our data frame or our table, right? So you can see latitude, longitude, description. So yeah, it's a CSV file of 911 calls in USA. Right? I think it's the 2017 data set, but it's quite popular. Address is this town. So yeah, we can see nice visualization. So nice animation, everything looking cool. We can always delete it and take another file. But I don't think the unsuccessful is quite useful because by default, uploaded file is none. Alright. So let's just remove else statement and leave this as that. So that's our file upload. And now finally, let's look at how we can take inputs from our user. Alright. So what we've been waiting for. We have different kinds of inputs. We have text inputs, number inputs, right? Select box, radio buttons, check boxes, things you use the input tag in HTML to do. So say st.subheader again. And we also work with our buttons right now too. So just one in success. It's basically all the same to me. So let's say inputs, right? Input for form, inputs. So yeah, let's start with text inputs. So I can just store in a variable. Remember, most of the time you're storing things in a variable, so you can use this value later on. So it's not like, remember, you're writing Python, you're not just designing, you're showing UI and you're also working with the values at the same time. All right. So I'm basically saying, okay, whatever this st.text input is going to return, text input, we also have text area by the way. So what you pass here is basically the text to show, like a placeholder. Right? So I'll just say enter your name. Right? As easy as that. Store it as your name. Right? So I can say if name dot starts a simple Python, right? It should be a string. If name dot starts with right. If name dot starts with a, right? If name starts with a, show show the logo. Yep. Let's show the logo. Let's uncomment that. st the image, var caption, string the logo, stuff like that. Alright. So always running. Come back. Should see why is it not always running? It's taking its time. Okay, because every single time, yeah, we're going to look at that now. We look at session state right after. Every single time it's rerunning and it's taking its time to process this time of one CSV file. So it's taking its pretty time there. So our input, enter your name. This is our input field. I'll say small caps actually. So I'll say power, right? My name. Press enter to apply. We saw the information there. Then our image is going to pop up. It's taking its time again. A bit slow if you ask me. Streamlit logo, right? But if we enter something else like John, press enter to apply, it shouldn't show this image. So this should disappear right after it stops loading. Okay, so John. Okay, so that's nice. We can also work with number input, right? So age. So unlike HTML and JavaScript, where you'd have to document the get element by ID, then probably convert it to an integer if you want to work with it, parse int, stuff like that. So it's all straightforward here. There's a method or function for everything. So, well, not everything actually. Number input, right? So enter your age, stuff like that. Enter your age, John, right? So I should have that in the run. So the CSV file is actually taking our time. I guess we can comment that out. So to rerun faster. So the file upload, comments, let's comment it out. Control// right? Come back to our web browser. It's rerunning again. So you can see our number input looks different. 0.00 is default, plus minus to increase, plus to increase. We can actually specify the rate at which this plus and minus should go, right? So yeah, I think let's check the arguments. So enter your age. Basically just say step, so step equals 0.5. So I want it to run the plus and minus should be at the rate of 0.5. So plus 0.5, 1 by 5, so on and so forth, right? Or we can easily just clear it out and write a big number, right? 9232, enter to apply. We have that number there. Okay, so by the way, it floats by default. As you can see, the 0.00 there. Okay, so now, yeah, I talked about Streamlit rerunning every time. Let's look into that. So yeah, Streamlit reruns your entire script every time you interact with your widgets. That means each time you click a button, type in an input box, move a slider, Streamlit re-executes your code from top to bottom. So it basically does it all over again. So that's what we're going to look at st.session state right after. Alright. But before our session state, right? Let's quickly look at checkboxes and radio button. Checkboxes, radio button selects all that category, right? You can see option right after this option, st.selection sorry, select box, right? Okay. St does select box. So take two arguments. First is the text, choose your role. Then the second are the options, right? So we'll say senior, mid, and junior, right? So check that again. So simple, select box, rerun. So you can see it's a little bit faster now. So you can see like a simple select tag in HTML, right? Select any one of those. And as well, it's stored in this variable option, right? Now let's look at radio buttons. You know what radio buttons are basically, right? So just basically have to, let's just say to gender, right? So you see what st.radio symbol. So select your gender, or just say gender, right? Gender then colon, right? Gender then colon. So say male and female. Male, male, and what's female? Our simple options, right? Come back. Then we have our radio. Default is the first, male or what? Or female. It's a little bit small. Don't like that, but still okay, right? Still okay. And we have checkboxes last. Similar to radio buttons, but not as strict. You can select multiple, right? So, or you can just use checkbox for a single thing, right? For like agree to this company's privacy policy, right? So I say agree, right? So say st dot checkbox. Do you agree? No, accept privacy policy. I accept to the terms. Huh? So I accept to the terms basically. Okay. So come back. You can see a simple checkbox. Basically, yeah. So you can also write an if statement. So if checked, unchecked return true. Unchecked is false by default. So none. I should say. So true can say show an image, show a plot, show a nice message, whatever. Alright. So we have that. So yeah, let's look at some of our buttons actually. Let's add the button below. Alright. So we can say st dot what's button. I can say click. Right. Let's see what a button looks like. Okay, so I can see a simple nice click button. It doesn't do much. Click, 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 click. And you can see this is evidence of what my app is running every time. So you can see as I click a button, it basically rerun the app. Right? Good. We have that. Okay. Let's look at some messages. Alright. So I can store this button as clicked actually. Clicked. So if clicked, true, if not false or none, right? So I can say if clicked, right? If clicked, then I can say or st dot success. So success is like a simple, calm, green message, right? So I can say congratulations, right? Congratulations. Simple as that. So click, congratulations, right? Nice and green. So I want to work with warning and error, stuff like that. All right. So let's actually do something with this. Okay. So now, if I want to show a nice little sidebar, make my app more interesting, and also I can use a sidebar to basically simulate page management, like moving from one page to another. Of course, I can actually create multiple pages, right? I'm just basically showing text, showing functions, images, everything is on one page. But with checkboxes and with functions, I can actually create not like a website, but something that simulates a website, right? So we might look into that. Let's do the subheader again, right? Let's do the subheader. Let's call it. Oh, we won't need the header because it's basically just going to show at the sidebar, right? So straight up, I'll say st.sidebar, right? So sidebar.title, straight up, right? So the sidebar's title should be navigation. All right, so I'll use my selection box again. So I should say, I'll just call it page, but I'll copy this. All right, Control C. So I'll say st. So I only needed my st.selection box. Oh shit. So st.sidebar.title navigation, right? So I can come down here and say page equals st.sidebar. So everything should be on that sidebar, right? So we can only have one. We can actually have two sidebars, left and right. But by default, it's just going to be at our left side. Alright. So ft.sidebar, let's say select box. Alright. So I basically want a select box again. So instead, I'll just say, sorry, Ctrl C. So instead of choose your role, I actually just want page, right? Let's just say page, right? So move from one page to another. So can now say home, right? So this is the closest thing we can have to links, like moving from one page to another. So what am I doing there? Home, about, and let's say services, right? Services. Okay, that's our page. Home about services. Yeah, let's check this out. Okay, let's add one more thing. st.sidebar.info. So just like a simple message on our sidebar, right? Let's not be too dry. So say copyright services, copyright services, something like that. 2025. 2025. Auto run, auto load. So we should see our sidebar, right? Yeah, not too cool, but it's alright, it's alright. I see the select box again. So, but with this select box, basically, we can put everything into functions, right? So the big plan is to define functions, def this, def that, def this. Or we can even create different modules. Remember, a module is basically a file, right? And we can import other files, right? So every module will basically have a show method, right? So when the show method or show function is called, it basically just shows whatever Streamlit method, whatever you're putting there, right? Which we're going to clean up this code space and do soon, right? So whenever you click on any, or whenever any of these select box items are selected, right? So it should just show that here. So instead of basically piling all this up, we're going to show that. So let's do that right now. Okay. So we'll create multiple modules. We can call this we can call this table, right? I call this table charts and form. So table, chart, form, right? So create another Python file, basically a module, right? So say table.py, right? You don't need to specify the py actually. So charts, right? Charts and what? Form, right? So I want to make it modular. Don't want to put everything in my intro.py. So here, I'll basically just come up here and say def show. So everything should have a show method. You can just copy this actually. Show, 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 alright? So I think everything here is related to the table, right? Hope you're liking Streamlit now parts. So yeah, I'll take from the subheader, pandas, import pandas, speedy, take, all the way, yeah, right? So I just go to X, come to table, under show, alright, paste, good. But we don't have st, so I have to import st here, alright? So import Streamlit. So I have that here. Import Streamlit as st. So load up. Okay. I need to import Streamlit everywhere too. Home, because everything is basically using Streamlit. Streamlit, right? Okay, so for charts, so chart is basically Matplotlib, right? So just copy that all the way to here. Okay, our file upload. I guess we can just do a file upload commented. Right? So for charts, drop intro the pie. Now the inputs. Oh, can just call it form. I think form makes more sense, right? Form. Well, it's not a natural form because they're not connected, right? So all before navigation, move that. Don't you execute and show. Right? Not just from our entire form. Right? Good, good, good. So any guy using PD here, I think one of them is using PD. So these ones we can just bring the imports out of the method, right? So we don't want our inputs in our method or function. Okay. So now how do we use these different modules in our intro pile? Alright. So aside all these comments, after file upload, right? So we have our navigation here now. Keep it after the navigation, right? Copyright services. So I can say navigation simulation. Okay. So now basically saying if page equals what? Home. So if I say if page is home, right? So by default, this is home already. So I basically don't need home since home is going to show by default. But still, I'll still want to show home. Alright. So home should show file upload, I guess. And file upload should be in means we need file upload in a function too. The def show, right? Def show this, right? So crying for PD pandas. I just import that for him. Pandas as PD. Alright. So we have that. No errors. So if page equals to home, I'll basically just show top. Right. So the show function here is inside this module, straight and direct. I don't need to specify, right? So I'll just say call show. So it call show, we just show that, right? So yeah, I have that. Then else if or elif page equals what? So instead of about, I'll say table. Right? So if table charts form, right? So elif page equals table. I'm saying I need to call this show method or this show function in table.py. So all I have to do is import all these modules. I guess I can just come to the top here after Streamlit, import table.py instead of saying table.py, import table, right? Import charts, right? Import as long as it's not a keyword or an already existing module in Python, right? So import form, right? So import these three guys and I can call them directly. So if page is equals to table, I'll say table, right, dot show. So call that show function in table. And when you call the show function, it shows that. Okay. So elif again, elif if page equals what? Charts, capital letter C, right? So call charts will show, right? And I can say else, but let's just say elif. If page equals what? Form, call what? Form dot show, right? Dot show. So you can see it's allowing us to call st because we imported st in our modules that we created, right? So you can now say else. So it will never be anything different, but just in case, right? We can just say st dot error. Yeah, this is error. but we'll probably never see it. Not found. Page not found, alright? Error 404. So I say error 404, page not found, right? So wow, let's test this out. We just made our app more modular. So let's say we run, we shouldn't see anything here apart from our good file upload. So by default, we can see it is home, right? So because it's home, file upload shows. So if I select another option here, table, I can see it shows the pandas. Select another option here, chat, I can see it shows Matplotlib. And if I select another option, form, I can see my form, which clicked, congratulations, right? Good. So can I type no? So I'll never probably see what's error for. So you can see with simple functions, modularity, import knowledge, as easy as that, we basically made or we simulated a website, right? But it's functional because it's all Python code. We're basically doing something, right? So yeah, with this form, you can actually do greater things. You can create a Python module with scikit-learn, right? Then using the module, get user input from the user, ask them for their name, age, role. Probably you don't need gender or this checkbox. Then when you click, you get all these values, run it through the module. After persisting the module, run it, then show the predicted value, something like that. All right. You can just do a simple body max index project, right? You can just get the weight of the user, get the height. Then when clicked, so when this button is clicked, so basically just run the weight divided by height square, right? Then the user's BMI simply displayed. So yeah, can basically do a lot of things with our Streamlit. Okay. So yeah, this so now let's look at deploying our Streamlit project. So we can easily click this button here to deploy this project. So we're going to be working with Streamlit Community Cloud, but we need to create an account there first. So as you can see, the app's code is not connected to a remote GitHub repository, stuff like that. So the GitHub repository that we're supposed to create earlier on. All right. Well, luckily, we can visit the website Streamlit share the IO, right? Streamlit share the IO. Continue to sign in. I can basically just create an account with Streamlit, continue with GitHub actually. So whatever GitHub repository I have, straight up, straight up, I'll link it to my Streamlit and then I can show it live. Okay, so I think these are demo Streamlit apps, right? So I just create app here to deploy an app from my GitHub, right? So first of all, I need to create my GitHub repository, right? So initially I didn't create this with GitHub, but I can still send it to GitHub, right? I can basically just copy these 3 files and send it to GitHub, but I should have probably created a repository earlier on. Alright. So let's see. Let's see if you can just copy these around them. So new repository. So let's say Streamlit demo. Alright. So create the project Streamlit demo. So I basically want to just drag and drop those 4 files or 5 with the image, of course. So where is it again? Local disk. I'm just going to the file location of my files, right? Python projects, right? Python project 1, Streamlit, right? So select these 5 actually. So I just want to drag and drop. Select these files, copy link, then okay. I have to click upload first. Upload an existing file. Now I can drag and drop. So let's see if this can work straight up. No. So let's see if this can work straight up. Right. Let's come to our Google, paste. So uploaded 5 files uploaded, right? Commit changes. Let's see if we can risk it. So we have our GitHub repo, Streamlit demo, right? And I've linked it, so I can just come back, deploy a public app from Streamlit. So we just need to get the project name. Okay, it's already suggesting, so I should see it now actually. Streamlit demo, exactly this one. So app.streamlit demo, branch main. This branch does not exist. Don't we have it on main? It's on our main branch. Why? It's probably not reloaded yet. So let's just refresh this. Refresh. So let's try that again. Streamlit demo, main. Okay, good. So it's all there. So you can see it's already giving us a domain, but instead of this random value, right? I can change it to what? I can change it to my first app. Already taken. Underscore me. It's already taken. Okay. App URL. I need an app. So I just here say blue underscore. Can only contain A to Z. Okay. My strong. Okay. Nice. So this URL is available. So I can see an error now. I can see I need a main file path. I need a streamlit underscore app.py, which is basically the entry file for the app, right? The index file. So I can see that file for me is intro, but I should probably change it to streamlit underscore app.py. So I can just rename it here, refactor rename. I'll have to change it to my GitHub team. So streamlit underscore app.py, right? So refactor. So I've changed the name to re-upload. So first of all, delete this guy. Oh, close down my GitHub. So open it again. Streamlit demo, right? So I need to delete this intro.py. So I need to find the file. Upload file. I should need to delete that file. But for now, let's just upload streamlit underscore app.py. Alright. But technically it's never going to see intro.py because it's not going to be there. Commit changes, right? Because aside from it being the index file, it's not referenced any other way, right? So we only have table s logo format charts now being used. So which is now the streamlit underscore app. So it's basically that. So refresh again. So you should see the streamlit underscore app now. I think that's it. So streamlit demo again. Streamlit demo main. Streamlit. Okay, good. So let's say you can any name as long as it's available, right? So the server. So I think my was streamlit app deploy. Well, it took us quite the time, right? So let's see. Our app is now in the oven. Okay. So you see, it's basically our own domain, easily made with Python. So you can see our app should be live now. Wow, we have an error. Okay, so you can see this error basically. So what we're basically saying that our Streamlit cloud doesn't know that we have what? That we have matplotlib.pyplots or matplotlib as a whole, right? So we basically need to tell Streamlit that these modules need to be installed. So luckily, we can basically specify a new file, call it requirements.txt. So it has to be like that actually. So I can just come on File Explorer here, create a new file, right? So a new text document. Let's call it requirements, right? So basically, we can only say matplotlib because that's only what we complained about. But to be on the safer side, so matplotlib, right? And that's right numpy. So these are the funny modules that we used, right? So yeah, we have that. Now Streamlit, obviously Streamlit, so you should use Streamlit itself, right? So we shouldn't have any issues with Streamlit. So I can just save that, close. So we need to upload requirements of txt again. So back to our GitHub. So add file again, create, cannot create. Yeah, we could have created it straight up here. But add file, upload, right? So drag and drop again. So drop our requirements of txt, commit changes, right? So we have our requirements. Good, we have our requirements. Now we have to rerun this. Okay, automatically rerunning. So it should work. It should work. Good. It worked. And we have it live. So now I can test this. I can see it works. My data sets, even my charts, right? Even my charts perform good. And now I can even tell my users to upload any CSV file of their choice and it to create a table. So now I'm uploading another CSV file, upload, and I can see it will generate a data frame or a table based on the CSV file. It's quite useful, right? And the good thing about this deployment is you can send it to anybody, right? So it will be in the link in the description below. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. See the data frame here. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, stick around for more videos to come. See you guys next time. Adios.